Thank you so much, everybody, for joining, for coming for this wonderful program, the series, Jewels of Rāmāyaṇa. With the permission, can I give a brief introduction to what is it? So, this will be the introduction. Dr. Śhubha Vilās, he's got his PhD recently, is a lifestyle coach, storyteller, and author. He studied patent law after completing his engineering degree, but finally chose a path of a spiritual seeker. He has just completed his PhD in leadership from Rāmāyaṇa, and his thesis is considered path-breaking in the field of leadership studies from ancient texts. Rāmāyaṇa, the Game of Life, is his best-selling series. He is also the author of Open-Eyed Meditations, Mystical Tales for a Magical Life, Perfect Love, 5.5 Ways to Lasting Relationship. He has authored more than 30 thought-provoking books. The focus of his work is the application of scriptural wisdom to day-to-day life and addressing the needs of corporates and youth through power-packed seminars. In his 11 years of monkhood, associated with Shri Radha Gopinath Temple, ISKCON Chowpatty, Mumbai, he has served in various leadership roles in congregational development as well as management. He heads ISKCON Goa, where the congregation has been on a steady growth under his steady growth curve under his leadership. He also heads Tulsi Books, a publishing house for spiritual books. Pioneer of Gita Champions League, IPL, Gita Champions League, now an international competition to promote Gita learning in schools. He has delivered more than 6,000 talks, inspiring more than 600,000 people across 20 countries in the last 10 years. He is a popular guest speaker at prestigious universities like Stanford, Princeton, MIT, not the Maharashtra one, MIT Mumbai, MIT Boston, to name a few, apart from Indian Institute of Technology, IIT in India. He is also visiting faculty at several premier business management schools, including the IIM and Narsi Monji, NMINS in Mumbai. He is also on the advisory board of MIT Pune, online education system. He's also spoken at Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Samsung, and the world headquarters at USA. So he's a very decorated speaker amongst us today. Thanks so much for taking the time and coming to Portland and giving your valuable association. Thank you so much. Let's start. Now we can Haribol 3 times. Is on.
Yeah. They just all of you all can come a little closer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Radhamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Paramalam Shri Guru Vaishnavasya Shri Rupam Sadgadatam Shrivam Sadvaitam Sadhutam Parisharam Shandaitam Devam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I'm really happy and grateful to be here amidst all of you all. How many of you all here have never heard me speak? You can put up your hand. Okay, wonderful. That's good.
Not seen you in person, but heard you on YouTube.
Oh yeah, YouTube is okay. So today I'm going to give you all an overview of Rāmāyaṇa in a very different way. After hearing today's session, all of you will be convinced that you don't know Rāmāyaṇa at all. And if that happens, then That's the success of today's session. So today we'll be speaking, I'll be dividing today's session into 3 parts. The first part of today's session will be on symbolic understanding of the names of characters in the Ramayana. The second part of the session will be, I'll be picking up one story from the Ramayana and analyzing that story from our life's perspective. And the third will be where I'll analyze the entire Ramayana and see what we can learn from it. So that's what we'll be doing today. Okay. So fasten your seat belts and get ready to take off on a very interesting journey through the Ramayana. So in the Ramayana, there are so many names of personalities, right? Interestingly, in today's times, the names of people have nothing to give and take with the person and their characters. Like somebody may be called Lakshmipati, but maybe a beggar. You know? Someone may be called Nayanasu, but maybe blind. You know. So today's names have nothing that define a person. But in the Ramayana, or any of the scriptures for that matter, the name actually defines a person a lot, and it speaks a lot about it. So the Vedic scriptures have a lot of symbolism in it. And through symbolism, there is a lot that is being conveyed. So even if you don't do anything else and except read names of characters in the Ramayana, you will still learn a lot. In the Ramayana, we have Rama. The word Rama means the one who gives pleasure to others. So the moment you chant the name Ram, you feel happy. And in the Ramayana, there is Ravan. The word Ravan means the one who makes others cry. In our lives, we have Ram and Ravan both, isn't it? There are some people who make us happy, and there are some people who make us cry. So Ram and Ravan are present in our lives also. In the Ramayana, there is a personality named Dasharatha. The word Dasharatha means the one whose chariot can move in 10 directions. But the word Dasharatha also means the one whose 10 senses are under his control. Dasharath lives in Ayodhya. And Ayodhya comes from the word Yuddha. Yuddha means fight, right? And Ayodhya means a place where there is no conflict, where there is no fight. Ayodhya represents the human mind. So Dasharatha, the one whose 10 senses are under his control, lives in Ayodhya, a place which is peaceful. So that means the one whose 10 senses are under control and whose mind is peaceful, such a person can give birth to God in his life. The qualification to give birth to Ram is this. In the Ramayana, we find another personality, Dashanana. Ravan has another name, Dashanana. The meaning of the word Dashanana, one meaning is the one who has 10 heads. But Dashanana also means the one whose 10 senses are out of control. And Ravan lives in Lanka. Lanka is a place where nobody sleeps at night. There are many reasons why people don't sleep at night. Nowadays, mobile is the reason. Yeah. But in Lanka, the Mahabharata defines many reasons why people don't get sleep at night. And one of the things that Mahabharata says is, if you steal somebody else's property, you won't get sleep at night. Lanka, everything is stolen property. Ravan is, everything in Lanka is stolen from here and there, Naturally, people in Lanka don't get sleep at night. In the Ramayana, there is a very interesting character named Vali. So Vali has a very interesting strength. So if his enemy comes in front of him, Vali has the ability to capture half their energy. Half their strength goes to Vali. So Vali represents temptations in our life. So when you come across a temptation, what happens to you happens to Vali's enemies. So the temptation is like is representing Vali. Like say for example, there's a diabetes patient. So diabetes patients are not supposed to eat sugar, isn't it? You give a gulab jamun to that person. You bring a gulab jamun in front of a diabetes patient. What happens to him? His ability to say no becomes half. And gulab jamun becomes double powerful. That's Vali. So every single character in the Ramayana has an immediate relevance in our life. So now I'm going to take one episode from the Ramayana and see what we can learn from that episode in our personal lives. So I'm going to share with you all one of my favorite episodes. I love this story and I tell this story so much. So this story, as I'm telling you all the story of the Ramayana, this story is just one sample of thousands of stories that are there in the Ramayana. And every story in the Ramayana has as much relevance and as much significance and as much learning to derive from. The Aranyakanda of the Ramayana has a section where the golden deer comes into the life of Mother Sita. So when Sita sees the golden deer, she feels very attracted. The golden deer is so beautiful to look at. It has a golden hide, actually made of real gold, silver spots. The belly of the golden deer is white, and the ears of the golden deer are blue sapphire. The antlers of the golden deer are made up of diamonds. The tail of the golden deer is like rainbow colored. So Sita is mesmerized by the golden deer. Sita tells Ram, please get me this golden deer. In the Ramayana, the golden deer is called by Valmiki as Abhiram. So what is the meaning of the word Abhiram? Abhiram means that which is not Ram. So the golden deer represents, so as soon as the golden deer comes in the life of Mother Sita, she gets inspired, she gets attracted. She tells Ram, please get me this deer. So Ram goes away to get the golden deer. But while going, he tells Lakshman, take care of Sita. I'll come back. So Ram goes away. And as he is chasing the golden deer, at some point he realizes it's not a deer, it's a demon named Marich. Ram shoots an arrow and kills the demon. The demon, while dying, shouts out in the voice of Ram the name of Lakshman and Sita, and he dies. So Sita hears the voice of Ram calling for help. She tells Lakshman, go and help your brother. Lakshman tells, don't worry, Ram is fine. Nothing can go wrong with Ram. Sita is very worried. She's very anxious. But she tells Lakshman, no, go right now. Your brother needs help. And Lakshman is very cool. In fact, he starts laughing. The Acharyas explain why he laughs. The Acharyas explain, if all of us, we fall in trouble, what do? We say, oh God, please help us. Have you ever seen God falling in trouble saying, oh Limit, did you please help us? Has it ever happened like that? God is in trouble and he asks us to help him. So Lakshman is laughing, thinking, why will Ram ever ask us for help? But Sita is not able to understand. Her concern for Ram is so intense that she really gets upset. And she really gets upset about Lakshman being so laxed about it. And she speaks something very harsh to Lakshman. So this section of the Ramayana happens after 13 years of exile. So for 13 years, Lakshman has been serving Sita and Ram. And he has sacrificed everything practically. Sacrificed his comforts, his wife, the palace, all the wealth, everything he has sacrificed. His youth, He's given the 13 most important years of his life to Lakshman, Ram and Sita to serve them. And for 13 long years, he has not slept one night also. It doesn't mean he was sleeping all day long, you know. He's not doing a call center job. All night he was guarding them, and all night he was serving them. And after 13 long years of serving, Sita says this to Lakshman. She says, I know why you're not going. You're waiting for a chance that Ram goes away so that you can enjoy me. Imagine, she's doubting his character. So Lakshman feels so hurt. He says, I'm going now, but I'm very sure when I come back, you won't be here. So Lakshman goes away. And when he goes, at some point he meets Lord Ram on the way, and Ram asks him, what are you doing here? I told you to take care of Sita. And they come back, they find Sita is missing. Ram blasts Lakshman. He says, you're useless. The only thing I told you to do, you can't do that also. You have no competence. Now imagine, two people that he has given his life to, he has given his youth to, he has given everything to. One is doubting his character, one is doubting his competence. If anybody else was in Lakshman's place, they would have said, hell with both of you all. I'm going back, you know. Lakshman would have walked back to Ayodhya, you know. But no, Lakshman doesn't go. He stays there. And he continues serving Sita and Ram. Now you put yourself in the shoes of Lakshman. And imagine one family member of yours whom you really love so much insults you like this. Do you think he'll continue in this being there? Most people would get so upset. They would say, they would just abandon the relationship itself. So now what inspired Lakshman to hang on? Now what I'm going to tell you all, if you understand this, it can save so many relationships. 30 years of relationship can get destroyed in 30 seconds. If you don't know what I'm going to say now. And we have seen it time and again in today's world. We are seeing it all the time, isn't it? Love at first sight and divorce at first fight. At drop of the hat, people are ready to give up on a relationship. And look at Lakshman here. At such a crucial situation of his life, he still doesn't give up. So now, what does Lakshman do that helps him stay put in such a situation of life? So Lakshman, the moment Sita speaks those words, he does something known as press the pause button. So what is the meaning of press the pause button? Like if an action movie is going on and mobile rings, what do? Press the pause button. You don't want to miss anything, right? So Lakshman pressed the pause button and he asked himself a question. The moment Sita spoke those words, he pressed the pause button. He asked himself a question. The question he asked himself was, does Sita mean what she spoke? And the answer that he got from within was, no. Her concern for Ram is coming out in the form of these words. And then when Ram spoke those words, again, he pressed the pause button and he asked himself the same question. Does Ram mean what he spoke? And the answer that he got within himself is, no. His concern for Sita is coming out in the form of these words. Now, when we are in a situation like this, you think we can press the pause button and all? There's no time. The moment somebody speaks something like this to us, we remove the sword and we're ready to slash the person, isn't it? Now, what made Lakshman press the pause button? And if you study the Rāmāyaṇa, Lakshman is an angry young man. All the time he's getting angry in the Rāmāyaṇa. And in such a situation, when he's actually supposed to get angry, why he didn't get angry? There's one thought that Lakshman had that helped him press the pause button. This was a thought of gratitude. So when Sita spoke those words, Lakshman had this one thought that 25 years, Sita has deposited love in this relationship. And now she has made one withdrawal. She's made one mistake. Should I forget to be grateful for the 25 years of love and focus on this one mistake she has made? So this one thought of gratitude helped Lakshman press the pause button. And when Ram spoke those words, again he had that same thought. 40 years Ram has deposited love in this relationship. And now he has made one withdrawal. Should I forget to be grateful for the 40 years of love and focus on this one mistake that he has made? So this one thought of gratitude helped Lakshman press the pause button. This is just one episode in the Rāmāyaṇa. And you see how such a powerful concept we can learn from this episode, that we can apply it in our personal lives. And I'm sure we go through so many such situations of life. And in such situations, if you can just remember this one story of Lakshman, it will help us so much. So now I'm going to analyze the entire Ramayana in its entirety to help you understand how Valmiki so intelligently, so smartly, he presents life's perspective through the story of the Ramayana. So Ramayana happens in 3 cities. On the way up in the north is the city of Ayodhya. Way down in the south is the city of Lanka. And in between is the city of Kishkinda in Karnataka and Hampi. So Ramayana is primarily in these 3 cities. These 3 cities represent 3 different mindsets. The city of Ayodhya represents the mindset of Sanskriti. Sanskriti means culture. So people of Ayodhya are very highly cultured people, very high character. And when they say something, they'll do it. Very honest, thoroughly. Kamba Muni, in his Kamba Rāmāyaṇa, he describes the city of Ayodhya in a very interesting way. He says the city of Ayodhya is a place where no shops sell locks and there are no charitable people. Now, if you hear a description like that, it sounds strange, isn't it? In today's world, every shop sells locks. So why is Kamba saying no shop sells locks? Because nobody bought locks over there. They don't lock anything in Ayodhya. Even the treasury of the king is open, but nobody steals. And why there are no charitable people? Because there are no beggars. Whom to give charity to? If you don't have beggar only, even if you want to give charity, whom will you give charity to? So Ayodhya is considered a place of high character. Exactly opposite of Ayodhya is Lanka. So Ayodhya is Sanskriti, Lanka is Vikriti. Ayodhya is culture and Lanka is vulture. People in Lanka are like vultures, snatching from others, stealing from others. And the mindset of Lanka is a mindset of selfishness, self-centeredness. They don't care for other people. They only care for themselves. The whole mood of Lanka is eat, drink, and be merry. Exactly the same mindset of today's America, probably, or any other part of the world, actually. And in between is Kishkinda. And the mindset of Kishkinda is known as Prakriti. Prakriti means nature. Like if you're standing on the shore of an ocean, the water goes in, water comes out, right? Water recedes and goes back. So now, when you're standing on the shore of the ocean, are you standing in water or are you standing on land? Difficult to say, isn't it? So when the water comes in, you're standing in water. When the water goes back, you're standing on land, isn't it? That's the mindset of Kishkinda. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. Sometimes they behave like Ayodhya Vasis, sometimes they behave like Lanka Vasis. Very unpredictable. In Ayodhya, the mood of Ayodhya is that of Kritagya. Kritagya means grateful. I just told you one story of Lakshman who is grateful, isn't it? Now let me tell you another story of Sita's gratitude. When Ram and Sita were being coronated as a king and queen of Ayodhya, during the coronation ceremony, there was like a lot of festivities going on. And right in the middle of the festival, Sita, sitting on the throne of Ayodhya, she started crying. So Ram was very concerned. He asked her, what happened? Why are you crying? Such a happy occasion. So Sita tells Ram that while the festivities were going on, someone threw red color powder in the air. So when the red color powder was being thrown in the air, Sita suddenly remembered the sacrifice of Jatayu. So when Ravan was kidnapping her, Jatayu came in between and Ravan cut off the wings of Jatayu. and the blood of Jatayu splashed all over the air. So when Sita saw that red powder being thrown, she immediately remembered the sacrifice of Jatayu. When you are successful, at the peak of the success, what do you remember? Do you remember the sacrifice of those people who helped you achieve success? Or do you only remember yourself? Mostly, we are just so full of ourselves, isn't it? But look at Sita. At the peak of her success, she's remembering the sacrifice of someone who is not even there. So Ayodhya follows a mindset known as Kritagya. Lanka follows a mindset which is known as Kritagna. Kritagna means ungrateful people. So Ayodhya people are very grateful, Lanka people are ungrateful. Ravan is considered a great devotee of Lord Shiva, isn't it? Once Ravan worshipped Lord Shiva and Lord Shiva appeared in front of Ravan. So Ravan was so happy that Shiva appeared in front of him. Shiva asked him, ask for any boon. So Ravan asked for 2 boons. The first boon he said, I want Atmalinga. It's a very special form of Shiva Linga. It comes from the heart of Lord Shiva. So Shiva gave him that Atmalinga. And then Ravan said, I want your wife Parvati. Imagine, he's worshipping Shiva and asking Shiva for his wife only. This is known as Kritagna. That means they are ungrateful people, basically. And Kishkinda, they follow a mindset which is known as Akritagya. Akritagya means it's not that they are ungrateful, they just forget to be grateful. If you remind them, they become grateful. They're like us. It's not that we are ungrateful people. We just have to hear one lecture on gratitude. Then 2-3 days we're grateful. So in Kishkinda, when Ram killed Vali, Sugriv was made the king of Kishkinda. And Sugriv became so grateful to Lord Ram. He was thanking Ram for helping him. So then Sugriv said, I'll do anything for you. Please tell me. So Ram told him, please help me find Sita. But when the coronation happened of Sugriv, the Chaturmas began, the 4 months of the rainy season. So Ram told Sugriv, you go back to your kingdom, and after 4 months you come and help me. Sugriv said, yes, exactly 4 months later I'll come. He went inside his kingdom, and then Ram went to a cave on top of a mountain known as Malyavanta Parvat. And Ram was sitting in this cave and meditating on Mother Sita 4 months. And Sugriv went in to his kingdom and began to have parties. Every day, party. And the sound of the party, the drum and all that, was coming all the way to the cave outside. And the 4 months passed like this for Sugriv. If you're watching a movie, 3 hours passes like that. But if you're sitting in a lecture, 1 hour doesn't pass only. It is known as relativity of time. Time is very relative in nature, depending on what you do. So for Sugriv, 4 months just passed. He didn't even understand 4 months passed. But for Ram, those 4 months were suffering. And after 4 months, Sugriv doesn't come only. So Ram tells Lakshman, can you go and scare him a little bit, So Lakshman, he asked Ram, should I go and kill him? So Lakshman works in binary. Either you love somebody or you kill somebody. Nothing in between. So Ram gives Lakshman a very interesting instruction. Very interesting way Ram puts it. Ram tells Lakshman, I didn't tell you to kill him. I only told you to scare him. And he said, scare him so much that he comes running towards me. But don't scare him so much that he runs away from me. The fear is a very important element in spirituality. Little fear has to be there, That's when you practice spiritual life seriously. But if there is no fear at all, then people won't come to God only. And if there is too much fear, people will run away from God, So you need that healthy amount of fear. So Lakshman went and scared Sugriv, and Sugriv came and became grateful after that. In Ayodhya, there is no fights between brothers. There's a lot of love and intimacy between brothers. Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, Shatrugna, very united. But whenever a fight happens between the brothers in Ayodhya, Like for example, when Bharat came to Chitrakoot, Ram and Bharat had a big fight. It was a verbal discussion, basically. But the fight between the brothers in Ayodhya is not about right or wrong. There's no question of wrong in Ayodhya. The fight between the brothers is what is right and what is more right. So Bharat was telling Ram, it is right that you come and become king of Ayodhya. Ram is telling Bharat, no, it is more right that you become the king. They're having a fight. But look at the discussion. It's between what is right and what is more right. In Lanka, brothers never fight. Kumbhakarna, Ravan, Vibhishan, Shurpanakha, no fights. Why? It is not out of love, it is out of fear. Because if they open their mouth, then they get kicked out. One time Vibhishan opened his mouth and Ravan kicked him out straight. So in Lanka, the discussion is never between right and wrong. The discussion is always between what is wrong and what is more wrong. Once in the parliament house of the country, there was a discussion. All the ministers of Ravan were telling Ravan, 10 months you have Sita here. Why don't you do something with her? Why are you just keeping her like this? Ravan says, I want to do so many things, but what to do? I have a curse on my head. If I touch her without her sanction, I will die. Imagine what a discussion is going on in the parliament house of a country. Ministers giving a king this kind of ideas. This is Lanka. The discussion is always between what is wrong and what is more wrong. And in Kishkinda, Vali and Sugriv, massive fight going on. And what is the fight about? Fight is all about right and wrong. Vali is saying, I am right, you are wrong. Sugriv is saying, I am right, you are wrong. So if you look at these three mindsets exist in all of us, isn't it? The Ayodhya mindset is a mindset which is too good. Now, obviously, I don't think we can ever reach that mindset. It is too high. For a lot of people, Rāmāyaṇa is beyond their capacity to handle it. Everybody is too good. What is this? You can't be so good. People say, I can handle Mahabharata. Everybody is bad. Everybody makes mistakes, isn't it? So, I mean, that's why Rāmāyaṇa is like a high standard that is set, basically. So, a lot of people are not able to handle the high standard. Like, for example, if you go to anybody's house, you will find a photograph of the family picture, right? Husband, wife, both kids, dressed very nicely, smiling, Kodak moment. Now, that photograph that you see on the wall, people are perfect, You think that's the reality in house? Absolutely not. House is Mahabharata. That picture on the wall is Rāmāyaṇa. That's the standard we want to reach. That picture is a reminder that we want to get there, But the reality now is dishum. Everybody fighting with each other, basically. Obviously, the inner picture is very scary, isn't it? Let's say, for example, if you go to a X-ray, I don't know if you have ever seen a chest X-ray, the X-ray of your body. Very scary, isn't it? Only bones, Have you ever seen anybody put their chest X-ray on the wall? My inside picture, You'll never find that. They'll put the external picture on the wall. So that internal picture is Mahabharata, the external picture is Rāmāyaṇa. So what is our journey? Our journey is from Mahabharata to Rāmāyaṇa. That's the journey we should all take. So Ayodhya is too high for us. I don't think we can ever reach there. As Lanka is too low for us. I don't think it can be so bad also, But we are all somewhere in between, Kishkinda. So in Kishkinda, Valmiki Muni brings out a very interesting way of looking at life by using this term Vanara. So in Kishkinda, there are three types of Vanaras. There is Hanumanji like Vanaras, who are almost like Ayodhya Vasis only, Perfect. No flaws only. Absolutely high level character. And in Kishkinda, there is a second type of monkey like Vali. So Vali like Vanaras are almost like Lanka Vasis only. I'll tell you a story to help you understand that. So when one time Ravan came to know that Vali is very powerful, and Ravan, he felt threatened, So he felt that better to kill this fellow, Vali, before he becomes more powerful than me. But he also came to know that Vali gets half the strength of his enemy. So Ravan realized I can't go and kill him from front. So he decided to find out when Vali is busy. Then he found that Vali does 3 times Gayatri in the 4 oceans. So he said, let me go and kill him when he's doing his prayers. So Ravan goes from behind and he's waiting for Vali to offer his prayer. So Vali is looking towards the ocean and he is doing his Gayatri. Ravan goes from behind. His idea is very simple. He'll catch all the tail of Vali, rotate him, bang him on the ground and kill him. That was his plan. Ravan goes and catches the tail of Vali. And as soon as he catches the tail of Vali rotates around his hand and then rotates all around his body, tightly binds him. And then Vali jumps from one ocean to another. And Ravan is hanging on the tail of Vali. Imagine Lankeshwar Ravan hanging on the tail of a monkey. Ravan is so embarrassed. He's telling Vali, please leave me, please leave me. Vali doesn't leave him only. And after the whole Gayatri is over, he releases Ravan. He asks him, what do you want? Ravan says, I've come here to become your friend. He lies. We came to kill him, but when he realized I can't kill him, he said, I want to be your friend. So then Vali and Ravan, they create a fire. And they go around the fire 7 times, taking vows of friendship. And they say that from today onwards, we are friends. Whatever is mine is yours, and whatever is yours is mine. My kingdom is your kingdom is my kingdom. My wealth is your wealth is my wealth. My wife is your wife is my wife. Imagine, they take vows like this. So the mindset of Vali is exactly the same as mindset of Ravan, basically. So in Kishkinda, there are 3 types of Vanaras. The Sugriv, the Hanumanji like Vanaras who are like Ayodhya Vasis, and the Vali like Vanaras who are like Lanka Vasis. And in between is the Sugriv like Vanaras. So Hanumanji is very clear what he wants to do in life. Vali is very, very clear what he wants to do in life. The problem is the middle guy, Sugriv. Confused a lot. Very confused what he wants to do in life. Sometimes he is acting good, sometimes he is acting bad. Early in the morning, if you look at us, chanting 16 rounds and very attentive, you feel like these people are from spiritual world only, As the day progresses, the demonic propensity comes out. And by night, we are total demons. So the same fellow is sometimes good and sometimes bad. That's what Sugriv is. So Valmiki uses the word Vanara to describe these monkeys, right? What is the meaning of the word Vanara? The word Vanara comes from the word Nara. Nara means human. And Vanara is a question. Are you human? So by using this word Vanara, Valmiki is making all of us ask this question. Are you human? To the extent you behave like Ayodhya Vasis, to that extent you are human. And to the extent you behave like Lanka Vasis, to that extent you are a monkey. You're a demon, basically. And this propensity of being human is there in every one of us. But most of the times, we are not sure whether we are. So when Sugriv associates with Hanumanji, he becomes very nice. But when Sugriv associates with Vali, he becomes very bad. And that's exactly how all of us are. Unfortunately, people like Sugriv, they don't understand this concept very well. When Sugriv went to meet Lord Ram for the first time, you know what Sugriv does? He disguises himself as a human being and goes and meets Ram. Means he takes a human form and goes and meets Ram. Why? Why does Sugriv take a human form to go and meet Ram? Because in Sugriv's mind, being a human means looking human. Sugriv doesn't understand being human has nothing to give and take with your look. It is about what you do. There are so many people nowadays who wear t-shirt being human. That just by wearing a t-shirt doesn't mean you're human. You have to behave also like a human, isn't it? So every day when you look in your mirror, you have to ask yourself this question: Vānara, am I human? You know? And that's the rhetoric question that Rāmāyaṇa leaves us with. You decide for yourself, Vānara, are you human? I'm going to tell you all a very interesting category of people in the Ramayana. Very special category of people in the Ramayana. This is known as a HNS category. HNS category means hum nahi sudharenge category. Those who don't know Hindi, it means these are people who have decided that no matter what, I will not change. So in this category falls Ravan. And I'll tell you how he falls in this category through a story from the Ramayana. So just before the war, the Ram-Ravan war, Ravan goes to Sutal Loka to meet Bali Maharaj. And Ravan tells Bali Maharaj that, I need your help. So Bali Maharaj says, how come you need help? You are such a powerful Rakshasa. So Ravan says, there are two human beings who have come with a group of monkeys. They're troubling me a lot. Bali Maharaj says, come on, you eat monkeys for breakfast. What's your problem? Why you are getting trouble with monkeys? Ravan says, no, you don't understand. These monkeys are a little different. 3 monkeys came and harassed me a lot, And Ravan says, first monkey came and burnt my city. Another monkey came and burned Lanka. And then he said, after some time, a second monkey came. So one day, Ravan was standing in front of his mirror and looking at himself. Suddenly, he started feeling wet on his head. And he saw on top, Sugriva had taken a tiny form and he was spitting on Ravan's head. Imagine, spitting on Ravan's head. So Ravan somehow caught Sugriva, but Sugriva escaped, somehow. So Ravan said, first monkey came and burned my city. Second monkey came and spat on my head and went away. And then after some time, a third monkey came. So just before the war, Ram sends Angad to meet Ravan. So Angad goes to Ravan's courtroom, in the middle of a whole court. And when Angad lands up there in Ravan's palace court, Ravan is shocked. He asks him, who are you? Why did you come over here like this? Angad says, I am the son of Vali. So the moment Ravan hears Vali's name, he gets scared, because he already had a bad experience. So he says, how is my friend Vali? Angad says, your friend Vali is dead. Now Ravan is not able to believe, how such a powerful person, how can he die like that? So Angad says, Ram killed Vali with one arrow. Ravan is not able to believe only. He says, who dies with one arrow? In Bollywood movies, 4-5 bullets also people don't die. Here, Vali died with one arrow, you see. Angad gives a graphic description of it. He says, just like a needle pierces so easily through a ripe banana, similarly, Ram's arrow went through Vali's chest and killed him. And Angad tells Ravan, if you don't return back Sita, you will also die like that. Ravan is not bothered. He's not interested in returning back. So Angad tells him, see, I'll give you a little demonstration of Ram's power so that you understand what you're dealing with. So Angad says, I'm putting my foot on the ground. If you are powerful, remove my foot from the ground and show. Ravan says, I don't touch monkey's feet. He told his son, Indrajit, you go and throw this fellow out. So Indrajit also is powerful. He has defeated Indra and all. Indrajit comes and tries to pick up Angad's feet. So no matter how much strength he's putting, he's not able to pick up Angad's feet only. So then Ravan himself comes and he puts all his strength to pick up Angad's feet. He's not able to budge. Angad tells him, see, I'll make it easy for you. He said, I will only put one toe of my feet on the ground. You remove one toe and show. And Ravan was amazed. Imagine one toe on the ground. And Ravan used all his strength. He removed 20 hands. Just not able to move Angad's feet. He asked him, what do you drink? Complant tea, protein shake. How can you become so powerful? Angad tells him, I chanted the holy name of Lord Ram and held my breath. Because the Ram Naam was inside me, I became so powerful. Imagine a the name of Ram is so powerful, how powerful Ram will be. And he tells him, return back Sita. This guy says no. That's why Ravan falls in this HNS category. So Ravan is telling Bali Maharaj, one monkey came and burned my city. One monkey came and spat on my head and went away. The third monkey came and couldn't move his feet also. Bali Maharaj said, don't you think if you just return back Sita? Ravan says, see, I have not come in here for advice. You want to help me, otherwise I'm going. So Bali Maharaj says, Chalo, I'll help you. Come with me. He took him to his garden. And in his garden, he showed him a mountain. The huge mountain made of pure gold. So when Ravan sees gold, he goes mad. He ran to the mountain, he started lifting the mountain. Bali Maharaj says, if you can pick up the mountain, take it. So Ravan put his hand in, he lifted Kailash, imagine. But he couldn't lift his mountain. He asked him, what is this so big it is? So Bali took him to the terrace of his building. And from the terrace of his building, he showed Ravan that mountain. From far when he saw, he realized it's not a mountain, it's a earring. A golden earring. One big golden earring. So Ravan says, such a huge earring. Whose earring is this? Bali Maharaj says, this earring belonged to Hiranyaksha. In the previous Yuga, there was a demon named Hiranyaksha. And Varahadev and Hiranyaksha had a fight. And in that fight, Varahadev gave one tight slap to Hiranyaksha. Kaan ke niche bajaya bolte. That one tight slap, this earring fell over here, And he said, from that time, this earring has been here only. And then Bali Maharaj says, by the way, you were Hiranyaksha in your previous life. And this is your earring. And in this life, you are not able to lift also this earring. And the same Varahadev has now come as Ram. And his strength is exactly the same. But your strength has decreased so much. He tells him, return back Sita. And the fellow says no. That's why in the Rāmāyaṇa, this fellow falls in this special category known as Hum Nahi Sudharenge category. So the Rāmāyaṇa, through simple stories like this, gives us such profound understanding of life. Every single aspect of the Rāmāyaṇa is filled with such profound stories and such profound understanding of life. So I would highly urge all of you all to study the Rāmāyaṇa, to understand the Rāmāyaṇa, and to actually learn as much as possible from the Rāmāyaṇa. We all read books. I'm sure all of you all read books. You should if you're not reading. But most people read self-help books, written by Western scholars and Western authors nowadays. But in my understanding, the best self-help book that you can ever get is Rāmāyaṇa Mahabharata. Our scriptures have everything that we need to know. So what I have been trying to do in my little humble way is trying to make these scriptures accessible and relevant to a human being. Actually, the Rāmāyaṇa Mahabharata have so much to offer. In fact, if you study these three books, Rāmāyaṇa, Mahabharata, and the Bhagavatam, you get everything. Rāmāyaṇa teaches us the art of leading. Mahabharata teaches us the art of living. And the Bhagavatam teaches us the art of loving and the art of dying, whichever way you want it. So literally, everything you need to know in life is covered within these three books. If you study these three books, you are sorted. You don't need anything else at all. So the whole idea of presenting these scriptures in a way that is relevant is to make these scriptures available to people. Otherwise, for most people, these are stories, right? These are bedtime stories you tell children when they're sleeping, and that's all. They have no relevance in our lives. But that's not how it is. Throughout the Rāmāyaṇa, there are such profound lessons and learnings that we can learn, and this has immediate relevance in our lives. Over the next 4 days, I'm going to share with you all so many amazing things from the Rāmāyaṇa, and you'll be amazed how much wisdom is there in the scripture of Rāmāyaṇa. Okay, stop here. Any questions or comments? Yes, bro.
Thank you so much for the wonderful class. What is the meaning of name Lakshman?
Lakshman comes from the word Lakshmano Lakshmi Sampanna. It means the one who is filled with abundance of Lakshmi. Now, Lakshmi means wealth, right? So apparently, if you study in the Rāmāyaṇa, Lakshman doesn't have much wealth. He's not like rich or anything like that. But what is this Lakshmi that is being spoken about here? The Lakshmi that is spoken about here is a wealth of service. He was rich in the kingdom of service. That is what Lakshman means.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
How to understand like this episode between like Lakshman trying to explain to Mother Sita like why he cannot leave and Rama is also fun Rāmāyaṇa. But Mother Sita like just raised him basically. Explained like it was 25 years of love. That's why he ignored. But like, I mean, another way like why it was coming from like the Lord and the goddess like at least like of words to Lakshman.
Yeah, the explanation. So you see, the thing is, when you study Ramayan, you have to keep the divine side aside. So the divinity, you have to keep it aside, because if you get the divinity into the, first of all, Ram is coming to this world as Maryada Purushottam. He is a human being. So the entire Ramayana is written in such a way that it doesn't expose Ram's godhood at all, basically. So when you study this particular episode or any particular episodes of the Ramayana, you have to keep the divine side aside and then focus only on the learning that you did, because that is the way in which the Ram Leela has happened. You know? So in this particular episode, Sita represents the living entity, and the Lakshman represents Guru, and Ram represents God. So when the living entity gets attracted to the golden deer, Ram walks away from our life. When we get attracted to things of this world, Ram walks away. And Guru is trying to advise us, and we don't listen to the Guru. So we do what we want, you know, what our whims are. So that is the mood in which this particular episode happens. Yes.
So thank you for the wonderful class. You mentioned once Vali was killed by Ram, and Sugriva was coronated the 4 months of Chaturmasya begin. Now I have heard, yes, in Chaturmasya people don't travel because of the rainy season. But it was a crisis at hand, right? Sita was in danger. So how can I understand that Ram said, let's wait 4 months?
So a couple of thoughts on that. First thing is the way rains would happen at that time and the whole rainy season would happen at that time. It was a pretty intense period, basically, and travel was practically not possible in that era. So now, for Ram to send the Vanaras to search for Sita, the first thing is putting the life of so many of the Vanaras in risk by sending them out, you know. And so that is the first thought, you know, that we should consider. The second thought is this: not all problems have an immediate solution. Many problems that we face in life, they don't have an immediate solution. For example, Krishna was born in Mathura to kill Kamsa, isn't it? But as soon as he was born, he told Vasudeva, take me to Vrindavan. And 11 years, what did he do in Vrindavan? He enjoyed himself. And then after 11 years, when he came to Mathura, within 5 minutes of seeing Kamsa, he killed him. Isn't it? Now, you might wonder that he was born to kill Kamsa, but 11 years he didn't do anything about that. About the reason he was born, basically. So these two episodes, if you actually look at it from this point of view, we learn a lesson that if you have a problem in life, don't expect a solution today. You may have to just be patient for some time, and then a solution comes up. basically. So even though Ram was, the Supreme Lord, he still is teaching us a very relevant and important lesson for us. Such a big crisis in his life, he was helpless. He had to be just patiently waiting for the right time to come. Yes.
How could Vali take the opponents have strength?
Oh, because he had a necklace given to him by Indra, and that necklace had the power to grab the strength of. It's like a battery bank, you charge a battery bank, and you put it in your phone, connect to the phone. The phone takes away the strength of the battery bank, right? How? The wire is connecting. There's a power, right? Similarly, that necklace had the power to absorb. Yes.
Is there any mention of Lord Ram visiting the places where Lord Krishna is there, like Vrindavan?
I've never heard of Ram visiting Vrindavan, but I've heard of Ram seeing Golden Hill. So when the monkeys were building the bridge, at that point of time, they were bringing stones from here and there. And Hanumanji was bringing stones from very far out places. At one point, Hanumanji brought Golden Hill. He used to make the bridge. So by the time when Hanumanji brought the Golden Hill, when he landed there, Nala declared that we don't need any more mountains. We don't need any more rocks because the bridge is ready. So then Hanuman was going to return the Golden Hill back. So the Golden Hill was crying. And he was feeling sad that I'm not able to serve Lord Ram. So Hanumanji, told Lord Ram that this hill is crying because he's not able to serve you. So that time Ram spoke to Govardhan, he said, don't worry, in my next incarnation I'll come and I'll do all the pastimes on you only. So then Hanumanji went and kept the Govardhan hill back. That's my understanding of the Vrindavan connection with Ram Leela. Anything else? Any other questions or comments? Yes.
While reading the try to put the clarification on that, and it's really it's hard to put Ram out of Ramayana to so to say. Because
Okay. No, I am not saying put Ram aside. I am only saying look at it from because Lord Ram, if you look at all the pastimes of Lord Ram, here he is enacting the entire pastime from a human perspective only. There are only 3 times in the entire Ramayana where Ram shows his godhood. The one time is when Jatayu is dying, that time he delivers Jatayu. The second time he coronates Vibhishan before the war begins only. And the third time is at the end of the war, when Ram-Ravan war happens. At that time, there is a small exhibition of divinity. So these are the only 3 times in the entire Ramayana where Ram shows divinity. So when the mood of Ram itself is in that way, so I'm saying it is only right that we study the Ramayana also in that way. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying keep Rama aside. I'm only saying that the Leela aspect, that we should keep aside. Okay. Yeah. So I'm saying see, if you look at it from a Leela point of view now, then you won't learn any lessons. Everything is a divine Leela, basically. But that's why we have to keep the Leela part aside and focus on the human aspect while studying the Ramayana. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Also looking at chemistry.
Please.
Even in the Leela, this is what I'm why did Ram choose Mother Sita kind of blaspheme a devotee like Lakshmi? And traditionally, we would have heard that. It is for the fact that the Lord is always forgiving if you blaspheme him. But if you blaspheme his divinity, even if it is Mother Sita, he is not going to forgive. So that is one reason he could not find anybody else to kind of play that part of blaspheming his devotee. So that is what I.
Yeah, absolutely right.
And in the HMS part, I also kind of remember that there are people like Ravana, even at the time of death or even when dying also, they don't want to change. Like Lord Rama was waiting that if Ravan's feet falls in his head, I'm sorry, Ravan's head falls in his feet, then he might forgive him, right? But Ravan ensures that his feet is also like when he's falling down, right? His head is also not falling in. He kind of turns his head from falling down. There are people like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else? Okay. I'll just quickly introduce you all to my books. Prabhu, if you can just get me a copy of all the books. So here, if you see here, there's. So I've written a series of books called Rāmāyaṇa, the Game of Life. So these are 6 volumes. So each volume is one kand of Rāmāyaṇa. The first volume is Balkand, the second volume is Ayodhya Kand, like that. So every volume, so I'm calling the series as Rāmāyaṇa, the Game of Life, simply to help us understand that every episode in the Rāmāyaṇa is written in a way that has lessons in it. So just like I narrated today, so the entire series is written in exactly the same style and in exactly the same fashion. You will get to learn hundreds of lessons. Practically in every book, there are at least 200, 300 lessons that you can learn from the Rāmāyaṇa. So I highly recommend all of you to get the entire set of these books. So this set is not available now here with us, but depending on how many of you all want these sets, we can get them from Bombay for you all in a few days. So this is just a sample set here that is available. And you can just have a look at this set, and if you like to order the whole set, you can get it. So these are the other books that I have written. This is a book called Timeless Tales to Ignite the Mind. This book has 50 stories from India, stories like Tanari Raman, Vikram Betal, so many amazing stories with morals and life lessons in it. This is my latest book. It will become a national bestseller now. This is a book called Magic of Friendships. This is about how to make friends and retain friends for life. It is amazing, and especially for devotees, it is very good because it explains the concept of Sakhyam very well. This is a book called Two Finger Shot. It's a book on Damodar Leela. This has some really amazing details of Damodar Leela that you probably would have never heard before. This is a book called The Little Blue Book on Krishna. This is one of my favorite books. This book has about 35-40 stories of Krishna's life that are very unique stories. So I've been doing a lot of research on Krishna Leela, and I've been speaking to Vrajvasis in Vrindavan. And these stories of Krishna are so sweet. You'll love Krishna even more. This is a book called Open-Eyed Meditations. This book has 64 chapters in it. Each chapter is about 2 or 3 pages. So every chapter talks about one aspect of life seen through the lens of Ramayana and Mahabharata. Based on this book, I have developed courses that I teach in IIMs, and this book is one of my best books that I've written. This book is called Perfect Love: 5.5 Ways to Lasting Relationships. This book has 6 love stories from our scriptures, and each love story talks about how to make relationships last forever. And this book is called as Mystical Tales for a Magical Life. This is our answer to Harry Potter. If anybody thinks that Harry Potter is fascinating, mind-blowing stuff, you should read this book. This book has 11 unheard stories from our scriptures, and each of the stories have some amazing wisdom in it. And then they have written some books for kids. This is a book called Illustrated Rāmāyaṇa for Children. This is an award-winning book in India. It is really sold so many copies. And the illustrations of this are fantastic. So this is the illustrations are done by one of India's best illustrators, Sinami. So this is a book called Illustrated Rāmāyaṇa. And then, in addition, there is a whole set of books that I've written. So this is a set called, so there are 3 sets in it. One, there are 6 books called Vehicles of Gods. So each of the vehicles, Airavat, the mouse of Ganesh, the peacock of Kartikeya, like that, each one of them is one book, story of each one of them. And then I have written another set called Goddesses of India, Saraswati, Radha, like that, each one of them on one story. And then there's another set called Giants and Demons. So each book is about one giant and one demon, basically. So that's what these books are. So you are free to explore all these books. They are available here. So most of these books, we have a couple of copies of them. But the Ramayana set is, we don't have any copy. We have just one sample set to show you all. So, but if you want the Ramayana, entire Ramayana set, we can get it for you all. You can just place an order and get it for you all. Okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Very happy to be with all of you. Do you have the pricings?
All of them, I don't know about the Ramayana.
Ramayana set, I think you can price it at $50. The whole set.
Prabhuji, is there a Kindle version for that?
All of them are available in Kindle version. Most of them are available. You can check it out. Some of them are not available. 2 or 3 are not available, but the rest should be available.
I said download a sample and give it a few, but I need to see.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shubha, for giving us a wonderful journey of Ramayana, which I think I've not heard many of those, variants, you could say, the way you told. Thank you so much for giving us association once again and enlightening us to the wonderful passing of Lord Ram. Thank you so much all the devotees for coming and making this event a success. So once again, thank Śhubha by David and Peter very good. Yes, for tomorrow we have program at Mansendra Mataji, Nagendra Balram Prabhu, Shivani here, Śhubha is not here. So we have program at their house, 6:30 Mataji, 6:30 p.m. Same time, 6:30 at their place. And we announce the next program at their place. Thank you so much once again. We have Prashant. Yeah, can we take deep picture too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tomorrow I'll speak on the marriage of Sita and Ram.
How about taking